Good morning. Wakey, wakey.
Good morning.
It is it today's the last? No, tomorrow's the last day of the year.
Uh-huh.
Tomorrow's the last day of the year. I have no idea where this entire year has gone. This entire year has just completely flown by. And the real gauge of it is my daughter's turning 21 in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, what do you mean it's 2022? But at the same time, it's kind of, it's a good thing. It just means we're still here and we're still moving forward. So hope everybody's holidays, no matter what you celebrate, whether it was Christmas or Yule or Hanukkah or any other holiday, there are new myriad to name, but I hope everybody's was as joyous and wonderful as ours was. Hey, Drak, good morning. Yay. we did the last minute wake up thing this morning, admittedly, so I did not even think to call anybody. I'm sorry. I'm glad you're here though. Yeah, we're going by to get him x-rayed after stream and see what we can do. I haven't been able to find another chiropractor, but the other one is possibly going to see him today. So we're going to see if we can kind of shift what he's been doing. So, but so lots of stuff going on today and tomorrow for me. I'm going to be finishing up some stuff, launching some stuff. And then January 1st, this weekend, I'm going to be launching some stuff for 2022, including some drawing challenges and things that are going on over on Discord, and just kind of shifting things a little. So it's going to be fun. Good stuff. I'm going to jump right into my book because this is something that I found a long time ago at our local used bookstore that sadly is no longer here, Roby Books. And this is...
Yeah, I remember that one.
I do a lot of botanicals, but I want to kind of branch out, no pun intended, and do different kinds of flowers. I've been kind of making my own up, but I'm going to correct my camera here before it starts doing the discotheque thing. It's trying to...
Sorry, excuse me. Goodness.
Good morning.
Be the eggnog.
But so I found this Flower Plants of the World, and it's got a lot of really cool drawings, and it's got enough information in here that I could create my own plants for a couple of the novels that I'm working on, specifically Odonasha, because it's got its own flora and fauna. But this has got a lot of really awesome technical drawings, and so some that are frame worthy. Oranges, by the way, are a trend, and I have some stuff going up on Spoonflower because they're doing another challenge. It's one of the things I'm going to do this year is submit more work to competitions and for publication, that kind of thing. So I will put a link. I don't know if that's even in print anymore, but I will put a link if it's on Amazon or anywhere. So that is my one book for today. Hopefully nothing too bad with you, Val. Sending out healing prayers for you. Thank you, Drak.
Just been sore.
Yeah.
Every day on medicine, and like so I can sleep and everything, and it's just
it has not been great.
The 3 weeks before this 9 were mostly fine, and then I don't know. I can't explain it. So what else do I say? I don't. So I mean, this is
one of your Christmas presents.
Yes, it is. This is one of my Christmas presents. This is Dan Simmons. This is one of, I believe, a series of 2 books. This is Ilium. Ilium is written from a science fiction perspective. If the Trojan War took place on Mars, and rather than the opposing sides warring, the 2 heads of the 2 armies becoming allies and going after the Olympian gods. So, I'm trying to remember. Hector, is it Hector and Achilles? I think it's Hector and Achilles going after the Olympian gods in the next book, which is Olympus. This one's the first one in that set, Ilium. So that's Dan Simmons. That's the same author as Hyperion. So
well, he doesn't read anything that's like less than this size.
That's not true. I recommended 2 sci-fi books last week that were both like 120
I know,
pages.
they're like chapter books. That's rare for you.
Yeah, I know.
That's
well, those were
rare
Arthur C. Clarke too. Arthur C. Clarke is really short.
People with.
Most Arthur C. Clarke is, under 200, 250 pages. Cool. Yeah.
I always go for the design standpoint. I like how that one's done. Nice. This is how history has become a future that will soon be history. Okay.
Wait, what?
It says history has become a future that will soon be history. Okay, whatever works.
No idea.
That's different. But it was a very bookish Christmas, and it was definitely Christmas by Amazon. By Amazon and by Isa, because Isa made some handmade gifts. She did the pyrography on these, and it's the Helm of Aa, which is a Norse protection symbol. So she made these for me, and completely shocked me. And then we had some, oh my gosh, the amount of food that she made. We're still going through the snickerdoodles and the fudge.
The
white chocolate. I think there's still white chocolate craisins are gone.
Whatchamacallit? Yeah, you said it. I think snickerdoodles.
So. Yeah, there's still snickerdoodles.
There's still snickerdoodles in there. It's crazy.
So we did chili and cornbread with family. Christmas Eve, everybody opened one present, and then we opened one more because we were doing Yellow Boca Float, which is an Icelandic tradition of you exchange books on Christmas Eve, and then you spend the rest of the evening eating chocolate and reading, which I'm like, sign me up for that. So we did that. And I, of course, had Klaus, which I've shown you guys before, which is the graphic novel series. There's 3 of them. And it's the backstory on Santa Claus, only he's kind of anti-hero, kind of Batman, only it's him running around with a wolf.
Of Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me
I actually haven't seen that.
Oh my goodness.
I actually haven't seen that.
Yes.
I need to. Wasn't that Daniel Day-Lewis?
I think so. It was someone like that.
Yeah. Because I was just like, okay, that's on the watch list. I just haven't gotten around to doing it.
Yeah.
But have you seen that one, Drak? Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. So I'm gonna have to put the link in that. I heard good things about it from people that like movies and stuff, but yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll have to check it out. Tim Burton's in it, or maybe it's by Tim Burton.
I think it's directed by.
Maybe. They've got him as cast.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, that's weird.
Rufus Sewell's in it.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I just
love the
remember
poster.
coming across. I remember coming across the.
I remember loving the poster.
I remember coming across the movie tie-in novel when I was working at. Oh my god!
There's a picture. There's a picture of Daniel Day-Lewis as Lincoln with the axe, like going down a dark hallway. It's just funny. So, did not play in it. Yeah, he's in it. He's on the cast list. He was Lincoln.
Unless something changed.
Yeah, no, he's listed as.
Did that say Gatling cartridge on the side
Yeah.
of the bear on the side of the box next to him?
Yeah.
I think it did. Trying to remember, was that a little early for Gatling? I'm not sure.
No, Benjamin Walker was Abraham Lincoln. Rufus Sewell.
Oh, okay.
They had him listed though. Wait a second. Because on the cast list they had him listed, and then now on IMDb they don't.
They don't.
So was there a second movie?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because Daniel Day-Lewis is listed as cast for that. That's so weird. But so is Anthony Mackie, and I know he wasn't in it. That's weird. So either they came out with a second movie or something. And then the next question is, will there be a Vampire Hunter 2? And is it a true story?
Oh my goodness.
So the Google gives you this list of questions. Yeah, they have him. It says Daniel Day-Lewis, I'm playing Abraham Lincoln, but I think that was on the Abraham Lincoln, not... Okay, it came out... He played Abraham Lincoln in a movie that came out on the heels of Benjamin Walker's axe-swinging martial arts version of Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. That's why they squished the two cast lists on Google. That's why. Don't make me find my movies and prove you wrong. You played in the link in the actual history about him. Yeah, that's what it says. So, because I remember he did play Lincoln. I just couldn't remember if it was that because I haven't seen either one of the two movies.
It's interesting.
But the fact that the second question is the movie Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter a true story? Now, they actually did have Victorian vampire hunting kits in Victorian era England, but they also there's a ton of knockoffs, but the actual original ones are really cool. But yeah, the poster for that one I want just because it looks cool. But yeah, Victorian Vampire Hunter kits, and the one thing I think that you can tell if it's the real thing or not had to do with because there's a ton of knockoffs. Yeah, supposedly carried around because they have them on auction sites. One sold for $12,000 in Sotheby's. But even the fakes are valuable. Typical kit, supposedly carried around Europe by a bunch of Van Helsing wannabes, consisted of a walnut box with a hinged lid, housing such items as wooden stake, mallet, crucifix, pistol, and vials of garlic powder. Which it would not be garlic powder, probably. The real one, let me take a look here.
I would think it would be garlands.
Yeah, but
like what they hang around their door in like Romania.
Yeah, Blomberg kits focused on the silver bullets were very unlikely to have existed prior to the 1930s at the earliest. Most likely not produced until the era of the classic Hammer vampire movies. Other kits are harder to pin down in terms of date and could be older, but there's no evidence. But the kits do, museums do deliberate fakes as comparators and for their own artistic and cultural merit, yet vampire kits are not fakes per se. but because there is no evidence of Victorian original, according to this. So they created, fans of Gothic had created stuff to fill the gap, basically. Late 20th century and date for one of them. So their vampire killing kits are genuine artifacts of the Gothic fiction, so they're still valuable in that sense. Yeah, yeah, I know, it was cracking me up. That was the last movie. Oh, has it? But yeah, because I haven't seen him in anything else. It's a horror. I know the stuff that people Google search cracks me up. Yeah, the movie poster for Abraham Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter is super cool. I just love the design on it, and it's him sitting in the chair, with the axe on one side and him holding the hat down, moonlit night and the whole thing. I'd love to get a copy of it because I would actually frame that because it just looks cool.
Right.
I might change my mind if I saw the movie, but I don't know. But I've always been fascinated with doing like dioramas and props, and I've built props for, like, we down in Florida, we had done when I ran the LARP chapters, we did a Cthulhu live game for a small convention, and I made props for that. And I actually had somebody who wanted to know, because I had my antique books there in the auction and some other stuff, so I wasn't letting anybody touch them because they were real. I also had that white jade Kuan Yin statue and some other stuff, and then I had made a triptych of the Black Madonna as a prop, and I did these little fetishes out of turquoise arrowheads that were old, that I'd gotten through a lapidary show, and then had twigs and feathers and some other things tied on, so they look like real fetishes. And somebody's dad, who was a geologist, actually wanted to buy them off of me because he's like, "Where did you find us? Those are really cool." And I'm like, "I actually made those." And he's like, "But the turquoise is real. That's good." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." So I have one still in a box somewhere, but he ended up getting the other one off of me. So it sounded like it was going to be his last role. Should have won awards for it. He didn't win anything for that, because I'd heard he did a really good job on that. That's a shame. I wonder what else was going on at the time. What else came out that everybody was...
what came out that year?
Or if the vampire...
What got awards that year?
Yeah, or if the vampire movie actually... took it down a notch because of, oh, here's another Lincoln movie, kind of thing, and diminished what he did. I don't know. Weird stuff. But yeah, the vampire hunting kits are really cool. And they still tout them as, this is a real kit from the 1800s. And like, no. No. But there's some really cool other stuff from the 1800s. I have a Pinterest board that I made a while back that's got some really, really cool stuff in it. And dioramas and little shadow boxes and that kind of stuff is actually stuff that I want to do this year. And so you guys will be seeing that on my Twitch live streams, where I'm making, miniatures for different things. The Make 100 Kickstarter with the little pig book, or not Gnomies. Sorry, I have the this little piggy book in my brain because that's coming out later today, or it's being uploaded and submitted later today to Ingram. So with any luck, should be out tomorrow or Saturday. I'm hoping tomorrow. but I've readjusted my plan because the board books are too expensive. They're $25 a piece. And they're more of a Pint-Sized Productions is more of a printer than a publisher. So it's not feasible to be able to do it through them unless they were to pick it up and publish it and do that. But why is my alarm going off? So,
no idea.
Okay. But I'm going to be doing Ingram, and I found a 6.5 square size. So it's going to be a little bit bigger than what I had the prototype set at, which was 5.5. So this was the 5.5 size. So it'll be another inch bigger, and it's going to be paper bound instead of the board book. So my little tiny prototype of my crazy chicken and my cow. So I also have the fabric for this that I'm uploading. So I'll have a few things to go with that, and bookmarks and baby's room prints and that kind of thing. And I have a bunch of people that are waiting for that one. So that will be out shortly. I'm excited. But I spent most of my time when I'm not working on the other children's book, kind of reconfiguring that a little bit. I have to add a couple of pages because they have a minimum of 18 pages and it's 14. So I had to add 2 more spreads in there to kind of buff it out. And then either I'll eventually get it picked up by somebody, which is the goal, or I'll just keep the release at that. I kind of like to do some special editions, but that's going to involve me actually buying wholesale copies. So I will work it the way I have to work it right now, but it should be good. So I think that's pretty much it for me. I know I've got some new classes I'm working on, and I just listed a bunch of classes for map illustration and storyboarding, the sticker business one, and surface pattern design. So, and I know we're working on you're working on, or I'm helping, or you were going to come up with another class that you were wanting to do that kind of goes along with your world building.
Like to, but yeah, I mean,
I think doing a one-shot with your character design would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Like I said, I did a one session for Heroes and Villains that I didn't have anybody. I mean, I haven't been listing it regularly, but I did run into the mix-up, I think. Or at least I'm calling it a mix-up. I don't know. I had a parent sign the student up. The student actually wasn't in the first week's live meeting. And then the parent requested a full refund minus whatever the first class's worth or whatever, and said that they only were interested in the first part. And I'm like, well, no, it's a whole 4-week class. It's not pick and choose.
Did you send them a listing about the other class, or maybe we can talk about that off screen.
Anyway, well, no, I mean, but yeah, the one class is a full 4 weeks. So I think I ran into, I think it hit confusion when I added a class that was just the 1 week focused, and then they were done. That I would do that for all of it or something. So I just went ahead and I removed the one-shot class, and I've just been listing my 4-week. So yeah.
I think a character design class.
Got 2 new students right now, which is awesome. And I've got three other classes right now that are finishing out in the next 2 weeks or so.
Nice. So we're doing some new classes, hopefully for this year. I'm going to actually launch that watercolor map class, so I'll get to play with watercolors. And I have a bunch of students I taught, I think for that class, for the map class, I've taught, I've got 1,785 saves on it. And which is my most popular class next to the other one. And I've taught 600 students with that class, and I have over 300 maps. So, which the maps are getting recycled into different things. I'm scanning my favorites. A lot of them I'm probably going to bind into a book just because I can. So, just to have them. But for examples. But the other thing I want to do is we're not allowed to link out to places like YouTube or Pinterest or anything anymore starting January. So I'm going to, okay, Drak. It says Daniel won both Academy and Globes for it, but he should have clean sweep all awards. Should have made it more clear. Okay, no problem. The Pinterest that I usually hook them up with as far as resources for that class and for the surface pattern design class and storyboarding, I'm going to have to actually make into a PDF so that they can download it from now on, because you can't, they have a long laundry list of approved and not approved sites that you can send them to, and it has to do with cracking down with under 13 is technically under 13. They can't be on YouTube, which I've seen the younger kids live stream on Twitch and on YouTube. So I know they're doing it. I don't know how they're getting past it. YouTube isn't monitoring it. Yeah. Neither is Twitch. Yeah. But I had one of my students that I tutored with for almost a year, and I know for a fact he's like 11 or 12, and he live streams on Twitch. So yeah, too much to keep track of. I think between the two, they'd practically need to hire somebody else to just review stuff. But I know they have a lot of that automated, and on YouTube and Twitch. Oh yeah, they have a lot of that automated. Just like Facebook has a lot of stuff automated, and they always catch the wrong things. But I think there's just an inherent, issue with that. And a lot of it comes down to parenting too. They don't have a safe space or a safe outlet. They almost need another platform, but then that makes them a target too. So it's hard. Parenting is not easy when you have too many things in play. We always had the rule where it was 2 hours of the box, and the box could be TV, the box could be computer, could be Xbox, whatever console, it was. It was like 2 hours, and then go outside and play, or or write or read or do something else. And I'm a tech head. I spend more time than that on tech.
My parents had to kick me outside to go outside.
Oh,
I was more introverted when I was a kid. Yeah. I would sit on my bedroom floor and build stuff out of constructs and Legos. Yeah. And be perfectly content. And my parents would be like, "Why don't you go ride your bike?"
That's all I did was ride my bike.
Don't get me wrong. I would pedal all over the place on my bike, but I had to be told, "Hey, go outside and go do this." Yeah.
So my grandparents' gardens, we had a greenhouse in the backyard that my grandfather built when he was 92, 2 weeks after he recovered from hip surgery. In Superman. But Grandma was always, on her knees pulling weeds and watering plants. And
my grandfather always had a Cadillac as long as I can ever remember. But that was one thing he did all the way up until he was too ill, and he washed the Cadillac, mowed the lawn, those were the two things he did. He'd go outside, make sure the lawn got mowed in the one strip or whatever, the one area, and he washed his car. And then he took it in for detailing. So, yeah, which was about as much that kind of physical activity, as he would do regularly.
He had cancer.
Especially after he got sick.
Yeah.
But it wasn't uncommon for him to be out, like, replanting plants or, laying down rocks in a bed or, with a wheelbarrow, So, I mean, he stayed active, and he was almost 82. So, but that was with cancer for 9 years. Yeah. So, I mean, more power to him.
We had grandparents gardening. Mom was always working. I used to say that my grandparents raised me, and my grandparents used to say I raised myself. And it wasn't because my mom was neglectful. Far from it. She was working possibly 3. I think at one point she was working 3 jobs. And because my parents had gotten divorced before I was a year old, they stayed friends. First time I asked about him, I was probably 2.5, 3. She brought him over for dinner, and he and I were thick as thieves till he died in 89 at Christmas. And before I had Isa and the lymphedema kicked in, I played outside all the time. Yeah, I always would have a blanket on the front lawn with my homework, or riding my 10-speed between our house and my grandparents. And it was funny because my grandparents had an apartment that I didn't realize was, at the time, I didn't realize was 8 miles away. I was just going the back roads on the bike. So I was doing 16 miles a day on my 10-speed and didn't think twice of it, and so, and I miss biking. I used to love to bike all the time. And the road in between the two houses was one of these windy things. There's one hill that was crazy that you had to be careful when you came down the hill. If you didn't make that corner, you just completely wipe out. But that was a trip, and you always had to make sure nobody was backing their car out, because they did. That's it. You go flying. So I usually kind of, wore my brakes out going down the hill on that. There was a couple of times I let it fly, but it was just like, it's not worth the hospital trip.
Oh, I've gone over the handlebars on a.
You have
to turn left onto this street. It was a little residential street, but there was a house that had like a brick wall, and then the sidewalk.
I had like the little brick wall.
I was just coming around the corner. I was coming around the turn too fast, and the front tire impacted the curb, and I went over the handlebars.
Oh, not good.
Yeah, that was not good. I actually had to go home and get stitches at, I want to say, Kaiser or someplace like that morning.
Yeah, played outside as a kid, worked around the house as a teen. Yeah, I'm glad my daughter was born before all that internet stuff came out, or computers for the matter. And with my amazement now that our parents let us out and had to be home by the time streetlights came on. Yeah, I know. It's funny. And like, I'm surprised I survived my childhood just for the fact that the cars didn't have seat belts.
Yeah, I had to be in by 5 o'clock.
And the way my grandparents
drove. Like setting the table and stuff for dinner.
Yeah.
My parents would come home around, my dad would come home around 6 or so, 6:15 from the pharmacy. My mom would be home earlier because she was in pharmaceuticals. She'd get her rounds done, and then she'd be home by like 3:30.
Yeah.
Or so.
Mom was always home by dinner because we play cards every night after dinner.
But I'd have to come home by 5 o'clock so that I could help like set the table and stuff usually.
Yeah.
So yeah.
See, I used to mow the lawn, did a lot of the gardening with Grandma. My next door neighbor knew that I loved plants, and she had a plant business with a small greenhouse, pretty good sized greenhouse in her backyard. And she was the plant lady for the area. And so I used to help her transplant, the babies and worked in the greenhouse and did stuff, and she paid me, and it was fun. It was a cool first job kind of thing. Seatbelt was my parents' arm. Oh my gosh. I have a funny story for that.
This one too.
So my grandmother,
Yeah.
my grandmother and I, every once in a while I remember we would trek to McDonald's every once in a while, back when the milkshakes were actually milkshakes and they were really good. Haven't had a decent milkshake from McDonald's in forever.
Was that 85?
Don't usually go there anyway. But yeah, it was
1985, I think.
Late 70s, early 90s. Late 70s.
70s?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was, I don't even remember.
Because I started high school in 83.
I remember the chocolate ones I used to get from McDonald's in early 80, 85, 87, somewhere in that neighborhood, were still pretty good. They got worse later.
Yeah.
Like when I was in high school.
Our thing was we used to do my grandmother and I both liked dipping our French fries in our vanilla milkshakes. So
some people really like that, others don't.
Yeah, so, if we weren't going there, we would go to Wendy's and get a chili and a Frosty. And my grandfather used to tease us about it. But the McDonald's, my grandmother, we had two Dodge Chargers. We had a 71 and a 72. The 72 was actually considered collectible. The 71, I remember, was kind of beige with a white top. And the 72, Grandma at one point had... was
that one green?
Yes. That was the green machine.
That's
and she had that one... or the 71 was collectible because the 72 was the green Charger, I think. But they were built like a whale. I remember my mom pulled out of our driveway and saw that there was a truck coming down the road at the 3 blocks away. Started pulling out of the driveway and hit him because he was speeding. He was going like 65 down a 35 or 25 with the kids in the neighborhood.
Residential
and everything.
Are always 25 or less.
Yeah. And so she hit because he was there. She had a paint scratch about this big. Took off half his front bumper, tin canned it all the way down the side of the truck, and ripped off the back bumper. The guy had no seatbelt. His wife, holding their newborn baby in her lap, had no seatbelt. And yeah, it was a bad day. But my grandmother, back to the seatbelt thing. My grandmother and I would go tooling around in this green Dodge Charger. She had like the sparkle green paint job. And I told her she needed a lift kit for the back. She needed to lift it off a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
But she had the carpet on the dashboard that she installed and all this other stuff. It was funny.
Just racing lift.
Which looked really good. She was a seamstress and she had, so figured it out. But because I think the dash had started to crack because the cars would get super hot. And it was all dark green interior, dark green outside.
Yeah, in Florida, yeah.
But grandma was a bit of a hot rod, and she used to tease my grandfather. She would call him Cowboy because he had a lead foot. So he was always getting, I don't know if he was getting pulled over or not, but I know that he had a 64 and a 64 and a half or 65. He had two convertible Mustangs and had rolled both of them at one point when he was younger. So, so she never let him live that one down. But so we're coming back from McDonald's, and my grandmother does the slam the arm out seatbelt thing. I had just taken the lid off my milkshake because I couldn't get it through the straw. So she does this, and I go, wah, and it goes all over the back seat, up my nose. I mean, just everywhere. It was everywhere. And she was giggling the whole way home, trying to clean me up. But I remember her pulling up at a light and a Trans Am pulling up next to us. And the guy's revving his engine. And I had my window down. Grandma's like, roll your window up. And we had the crank, the
Oh
curved
yeah, you had
windows.
to roll it up.
Yeah. It had the bench seating, no seatbelt, and she's like, roll your window up, because he was giving her crap. He's like, come on grandma, let's race. And he's revving the engine. The light turned green. And it was all I could do to hold on. She spun the wheels. She burned out and took off. And this guy's sitting at the light, jaw on the floor. And she's just like, giggling. She's all redhead. Yeah, grandma, you did not screw with grandma. But hey, Pixie, how are you doing? Good morning. So, but yeah, my grandmother was a bit of a hot rod. So she was funny. I have one picture of her that I need to find. She was always a good sport about things, where she had a kind of a, not really a baseball hat, but it was a hat she wore for gardening sometimes. And I actually got her to turn it around backwards and stand like this. So I have this picture. I have this picture of my grandmother doing the whole cool thing. It was just so funny. But yeah, we had the jungle in the backyard, and my grandfather was a bit of a gardener too, but he mainly built a greenhouse for her, and just, that was her thing. Mm-hmm. He'd go out, pull weeds, and mow the back lawn when she wanted him to. But I remember we had these huge staghorn ferns in the one tree. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately the tree was dead. They trimmed all the branches off of it for the most part, except for a few. And it was covered in woodpecker holes. The woodpeckers out there every once in a while would be a doofus and like be banging on the siding on the roof or something. You hear it on the metal. Yeah. But for the most part, that tree was, there was like from 3 feet up, it was just all woodpecker holes. So the tree finally, she says, hi, Drak, hi, Popper. But she had these huge, she kind of used it as a pedestal for the ferns. And these things were, huge. The leaves on them were like this long. And so she had 2 of those perched in the branches. And then she had another, I keep wanting to call it a midnight flower, but that's not what it is. Blooming Cereus. It only blooms once a year for a single night, and it blooms. It's also known as the Princess of the Night, and it blooms around the time of the full moon, and it only blooms at midnight. But it's Queen of the Night or Princess of the Night. But it's night bloom Cereus, Cereus. And the buds on these would come off almost like a Christmas cactus, where it would be on the leaf. And I always wondered, it was always a wonder to look at these huge pods come off, because it looked like a upside down flamingo. So there's this pink, thick tube comes out, and then there's this big, unopened blossom about this big. It's pink, so it looks like a flamingo head, but it's just joined at this little tiny spot on the edge of the leaf. And then when it blooms, the flowers are like that big. They're huge. It's just the whole thing just fans out. So I'll link to the images for that, but it's probably one of the prettiest flowers I've ever seen. And I said they're just, they're absolutely ginormous.
My goodness.
Yeah. So you can actually buy them, and eventually when we get a house, I would like to, I'd like to get a plant, because they do sell them on, there's a couple places on Etsy that has them, and they're beautiful even when they're not blooming. They get these big long leaves, almost like the staghorn fern does. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So what's everybody up to today? What are you guys up to? You know, I've got to run and pick up some stuff from my mom. I have my last Christmas present coming in. I had a couple of Amazon gift cards between Logan, Issa's dad, and and her partner both gifted me Amazon gift cards, and I had enough. I got my boron. So I will link to that on Amazon down below after stream. Watching me right now, hopefully not sleeping the day away after. I know. I'm hoping they can figure out something with that. It's contemplating eating ice cream, probably more video games and resting. That is a good idea. Resting is always a good idea. Honestly, got to pull something to eat out of the freezer. Uh-oh. Been there, done that. But yeah, I've got a 16-inch, it's 3.5 inches thick and 16 inches wide, and it's a Respec inside tunable boron, and it's got like a T-bar on the inside, so when you're holding it, it's more comfortable. And then it has the tipper. So, and then I have, there's a cream that you can put over the hide to keep it from cracking or getting dried out. It's goatskin and mulberry wood frame. Oh. So it's it's a decent one. It's a nice one. So I'm looking forward to learning how to play that, because I've played Doombek, I've played regular drum kit, I've played bongos, I've attempted tabla drums, played conga drums, and African. I remember Millard had this big African drum that we used to bring to the events that was really cool. It was a big standing African drum. So when I wasn't dancing, because I taught belly dance for 13 years in the medieval reenactment group. So when I wasn't dancing, I was drumming. So mainly Doombek. But I've been wanting to get a boron for a really, really long time because of my Scottish and Irish heritage in my family. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I get good enough, maybe I'll play one day on live stream. But that'll be a while. Hey, welcome back. So that's coming. But the other thing we did Christmas wise was stones. Everybody got some form of jasper or agate or tower or palm stone. The palm stones came out, were really cool. I'm not even sure where mine is on my desk right now. I have green sardonyx out here somewhere. Excuse me. Drak, you need to get some black onyx. Black onyx is actually works against inflammation and swelling in the bottom half of your body. And I'm like, can I just get like a bunch of black onyx chips and sew them into like a skirt or something and just wear that sucker all the time? Because with me with the lymphedema, I always have problems with my legs. So, but it's a very, very powerful healing stone. And I got a little piece of it when I'd gotten a carnelian palm stone for him, and it came with a little piece of jade, and which is right here. So this is jade and a little piece of black onyx. What should I eat with bratwurst? Do you have any spätzle? That's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sauerkraut, Spätzle, coleslaw. I'd go sauerkraut if it was me. I haven't had a good bratwurst in a while.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing the New Year's thing with Sean and Julia at one point. We're not going over for the New Year's Eve party, but we're gonna do. It's supposed to rain all weekend. The weather's been just crud. The last few days, it's felt like it was nighttime because it's so overcast. And it's just rain through the 10th, partly cloudy. Monday we should get some sun.
Yeah.
A little bit on Tuesday maybe, but sunny and 36, high of 36, low of 24 on Monday, with a 4% chance of rain. So I will be soaking that up on the porch on Monday while we have it. And apparently 17 feet of snow in California this month.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I
know
that
picture I showed you yesterday with the icicles on the building, that was Lake Tahoe.
Yeah. And I know Pixie's been having some crazy cold weather.
Yeah. She said, what did she say? Like
negative 17 Fahrenheit. Wind chill negative 44 Fahrenheit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the wind is just, I can deal with
crazy.
The cold. The wind hits me and it goes right through me. Yeah, black Onyx. Like I said, it's supposed to be good for, I'll send you the stats on it, but it's healing stone, one of the more powerful healing stones. And it's definitely lower body and inflammation. So that works for both of us with the lymphedema. Well, I guess I'll have pasta and mushrooms with maybe red sauce. Ooh, cool. And jealous of Pixie, by next week supposed to be back to the normal. For how long? Just kind of like a couple of weeks, or because I know here they're talking about our worst weather is going to be in March. So if that's true, I've got a month to figure out what I can wear because I don't have any warm weather clothes. Really, nothing fits me. So I'm just glad I'm on holiday and don't have to bust. Oh, yeah. Don't have to bust in this weather.
Ooh, yeah.
And what's the coffee? Is that Post Alley?
That's Portside.
Portside.
Seattle.
So Seattle's best Portside for today for our coffee.
We've got 3 Seattle's best coffees up there right now.
We have coffee coming out our ears. We have a big thing of Javalia. We have the 3 for Seattle's.
For Seattle. And the 1 for Trader Joe's.
1 for Trader Joe's.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom got me some Starbucks instant because she couldn't get out to get the other stuff and didn't know what we wanted. So she got two of the instant. There's a dark roast and a medium
roast. Which
roast,
are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
The Starbucks Via, the instant, is actually not bad. I've had it before. Got a couple of other coffees actually in that came with Julia and Sean's gift, the little packages.
Oh yeah.
We've got a dark Italian
World Market,
like a dark Italian roast, and a vanilla bean in there that we can try also. So I'll probably make those here shortly too. I'll probably wait till next time, next stream for the vanilla bean because that one's unusual. So it's not something we get ever. So, you know, I've had several different Italian roasts, but I don't usually do like flavored coffees very much. So doing the vanilla bean next week.
We've done the caramel, and that's been really
doing
good.
the vanilla bean next week. We can preview that one for everybody. So
yeah. This is why if you have bad weather is in March, so will ours. Since you usually get your weather the next day. Yeah, we're in like Lexington will get it really bad. Richmond will be moderate, and then Brea gets the lighter end of the weather usually.
Yeah.
Brea's kind of in a bowl. I mean, it's gotten down to like, I think our first year it was like 8 degrees, something like that. 11. I know for sure 11, but I think that Christmas it got like 8 degrees, and that was my first like snow in 30 years, and loved it. Ended up sick, but loved it. I see. Why would you mind? There are plenty of people on the bus to provide body heat. No. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I could not get on public transportation right now. I could not do it as it is. I'm, still hermiting, and we don't really do out very much. So not many in the morning since everything spaces out. Everyone spaces out. Yeah. Well, I'm glad they're doing that at least. I know my girlfriend Sandra does the bus system or the trains in Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they've kind of spaced things out a bit. Don't have a choice. So I mask and keep my distance. Yeah. That's all you can do. Just be safe. Wear your mask, wash your hands, carry sanitizer, try not to touch anything. You gotta function day to day, and just hope that just have respect for other people, and hope other people have respect for you. That's the hard part. But so it's definitely been a challenge this year. It's been despite everything, it has been a really blessed year for us. Even last year, and despite being sick, I've had a lot of opportunities. We've had a lot of, community support, especially when we were sick, because I had tested positive for 3 months. So I had to, get grocery pickup, and, we didn't have a place here that delivered. So we had to go into Richmond to get our stuff. But yeah, basic shopping, food and needed things like meds. Yeah. Yeah. We typically avoid going out. I've been doing safe jaunts out, but I avoid everybody like the plague, and I've got sanitizer and just, I don't touch anything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We finally, we had a really nice Christmas because Mom finally was able to get together with us. So she did Christmas Eve with us. I had a feeling she wasn't going to do both days. We kind of wore her out on Christmas Eve. So, so when she bailed, Christmas Day, I was kind of okay with it because I'd already given her my presents and stuff. Hey, Zach, how are you? Yeah, I don't, even if we go outside to just get the mail at the mailbox or drop the garbage in the can, we wear a mask. Yep. We don't go out without one. And I get some of the dirtiest looks from people. And it's like, I don't know if they're giving me crap because I'm wearing a mask and I'm one of those people, or if it's, there's a lot of people that wear them because they haven't been vaxxed. We have. Mm-hmm. Part of me wants a little button, but some kind of little snarky button on that says, go about your business, I've been vaxxed or something, whatever. Mm-hmm. But so, I just kind of, whatever, wish them well, say a prayer, walk on, kind of thing. Nobody said anything to me. I've heard people that have had people say stuff to them, and it's just like, whatever. Yeah. Not my karma, not my life. just wish them well and keep going. Issa and I tend to call people glow sticks because you want to shake them till the light comes on. Every once in a while we're running around people that have like the mask down here. It's not even over their mouth or their nose. And it's like, why are you even bothering to wear it? It's not a beard catcher.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's so, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a soup catcher.
Yeah. I do what we're supposed to do and do it for the respect of others and do it to protect, you know, ourselves. And it's all you can do. So, but, so how are you doing today, Zach? We're actually getting ready to get off the air. We do an hour. So we're here from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's 10 now. So we're about to head out. We're going to take Val by the chiropractors and get his neck x-rayed. Just want to flame people like actual fire. I just want to flame people like that. Actual fire. No, Drak. I'm not bailing you out of jail. But we love you guys.
I had someone actually tap me on the shoulder when I went to pick up our food in Subway the other day.
Gosh.
I'm like, how dare you touch me? Seriously. Like, really?
He got in the car. He was so hot. He was just like, guy actually touched me. Some guy was razzing him because he was picking stuff off the shelf. Someone complained to me once about the mandate for masks on the bus. I said, I like it due to my immune system and bus reliance. Yeah, I'm immunocompromised. I don't take chances for anybody. They're uncomfortable with me wearing a mask. That's fine. They can walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Pull the mask over their face and shut up real quick. Yeah. I've had people get on me about my weight, and then it was like, well, you know, I'd say something about, you know, having lymphedema, and I didn't allude to it like it was cancer or anything. It was just, you know, I have problems with my immune system. My lymphatic system shut down during my pregnancy. I could have died. The fact that I have a little extra weight on me, 110 pounds of lymphatic fluid, to be honest, then it's at that point, it's, you know, if it was just weight, wouldn't have a problem. But it's not something I can fix. So go on with your life. So find somebody else to pick on. Mm-hmm. Nothing phases me anymore. Hope you have good results from the x-rays, Val. May you be blessed with a watchful angel today. Yes.
Yeah, I just,
definitely.
Like I said, I just hope I feel a little better. Just, you know.
He hasn't been able to rest really well 100%. And it's not been good.
I had 2 or 3 weeks. Felt
I think there's something else
like
going
95% fine. And then last week, well, about 9 days ago, he made the same adjustment that he's been making, and then just said, let's try nothing else and let's just let you go home. Because he normally does like
he's not really
stretches.
Sure either, because he's just experimenting at this point, I think.
I think
and I haven't been able to find him another, unless we drive to Irvin, which is like an hour.
Almost,
from here.
It's far.
I had
it's
one
way
person
further.
recommend it, chiropractor.
I mean, there is a chiropractor here in Berea, but we haven't had anybody say anything about them.
It's got COVID on my birthday. No.
Oh.
That's a crappy birthday present.
No kidding.
No. Your birthday was yesterday or today? We got like 5 minutes and then we're gonna head out, but we don't have to be there until 10:30. So, right. But no, you're vertical and you're here, so that's a good sign. Boost your immune system as much as possible. Stay away. If you've been vaxxed, stay away from elderberry. Otherwise, I would say elderberry, but if you've had the vaccination, they say to stay away from elderberry because it actually works against the efficacy of the vaccine. If you can, get antibodies. I've had several people that I know that have had COVID, and as soon as they got COVID, they went in and got antibody shots, and it's helped them tremendously. But I'm so sorry to hear that. There was Goosey has it too.
Yeah.
So there's several people that I know that have it right now. So I'm so sorry. I hope your birthday was good otherwise. And yeah, Drak, my attitude is if you don't like the way I look, don't look at me. Exactly. But I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better soon. And just like I tell everybody, if you need somebody to chit chat with, you know, you've got Discord, you can jump in there. If you need any, you know, resources from somebody who's already had COVID, you know, drop me a note and I can send you what I know from what we learned. So, yeah, Drak got vaxxed and then turned around and got Delta. So that's yeah. And we've had, I know Omicron does like flu symptoms. So a lot of people aren't sure whether they have flu or that. So they're not taking as much precaution as they probably should. So, but
they're not being careful either.
Yeah. So, but everybody have a really good day. Get some rest, Zach. Love you. Please get better soon. And love you guys. So I will be on Saturday at noon. Is going to be our first of the 2022 streams. Tomorrow and the next day, if you guys are celebrating New Year's, please be safe. Stay at home, wear your mask, wash your hands. You know the drill. And love you guys. Take care. Stay safe. And I will see you Saturday on Twitch. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. I will. Love you guys. Bye.